everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss. And I'm just hoping everybody's watching CaribVision. You could see me weeknights, Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're in Canada, we're on BellFibe channel 658. And you could watch, a lot of the programming on CaribVision. We're in 28 different countries, including London, UK, all through the Caribbean, and also the United States of America. You can get it through the various cable channels. But in case you've missed any of the episodes, you can also go to my YouTube channel, which is DBoss Networks. Subscribe, share, and you can watch all the wonderful guests that I've interviewed at your own convenience, and make comments and, tell us what's going on. Also, I hope everybody's doing their 15 minutes of laughing today and every day, because the last few weeks is going to make you feel better, because what you put out is what you receive back. So, we'd like to see everybody that's to do 15 minutes of laughing. You can find somebody to laugh. If you can't find anybody to laugh, you can put on something funny that you know that you'll laugh at. And if any extreme cases, you could go to sign up for laughing classes. So I hope you don't have to really go as far as that to do that. And you can find, but your 15 minutes releases all those endorphins. It makes you feel better, and all the rest. It warms up your vocal cords. It makes you, just feel a lot better and brings forth your day in a positive way. But from our one of our sponsors, Vital Steps to Health, Great Health, she's gonna tell us about some healthy snacking. So, and I'll be right back with our special guest.
Welcome to your vital steps to better health and fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today, we're talking about exercise snacking. It's a fantastic way to fit exercise into your busy schedule. Exercise snacking is about taking small bites of exercise throughout the day. And it could look like this, anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes of movement in some way, shape, or form is an exercise snack. You can, instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs up a flight. Or you can go for a brisk walk for 5 minutes. If you're watching TV, you can sit down and do some stretches, or sit and stand to work those legs. When you're at work, do some stretches at the desk. All of that is exercise snacking. The beauty is it does not require a membership, and neither do you need equipment. So take advantage of those small pockets of time that you have throughout the day to do some form of movement. You'll feel great. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. See you next time.
Well, thank you, Joanne James, for that healthy snacking, step tip. And it's not meaning people to go eat food and go eat some more food. Yes, you can eat healthy and stuff, but it's talking about if you've been sitting down a while, if you've been watching TV for 2 hours, if you've been on your computer forever, just get up and just do some stretches like every half hour or 40, just to keep your circulation moving and doing a couple things. But anyways, I do want to thank Joanne James for that. And today we got some real stepping people coming up here, and they're going to tell us a lot about what they do and how they got started. And, and it's these people are coming from, like my hometown, not where I was born, but my hometown in Montreal. So with no further ado, we're going to introduce the Montreal Steppers director, Kayin Queeley, and he's going to tell us all about the wonderful thing.
Hello. What's up?
I said it right, Kayin Queeley. I said
Queeley.
Cayenne, like cayenne pepper there.
Like
so I
cayenne
had to
pepper.
remember.
That's it. Well, thank you so
real
much.
Life Matters, so we're not practicing it like wow, but we're practicing it.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you, DBoss, and nice to be here for sure.
Well, I see that you're doing your laughing thing, so I'm glad.
Always laughing. Always laughing.
Okay. And you feel better. I don't know how people keep that stern look on all the time. It's too much.
No.
So
gotta have
here,
the eyes.
So here at Real Life Matters, we like to know what everybody's cultural background and where they come from.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm from St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. And funny enough, I'm actually in St. Kitts right now. So this is where I am meeting you from because I'm out of Montreal for a few days and I'm in St. Kitts with my family, seeing my family, spending time with my mom and my brothers, and just taking as much as we can before we head back up into the end of summer and the fall. So I grew up most of my life in St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean.
That's why he's so happy, people. He went to the beach probably today. He probably went to the beach.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
So not yet. In 2 days.
The first thing I do. Unless the weather restraints. But
makes sense. I agree with you.
So what's the national dish of St. Kitts and Nevis?
St. Kitts' national dish is saltfish and dumplings, breadfruit, plantains. That's what it is. So I think I got it right.
It's like a soul food.
Yeah, some saltfish dumplings, breadfruit, and some fried plantains. That's the national dish for St. Kitts.
So did you have that today?
No, I had it. I had some saltfish. I had some saltfish on Monday, and I'm gonna get some before I leave. But just to I make saltfish in Montreal, so it's nice to get it and not have to make it here. No, of course. So I was able to give myself a good little sample of it, but with some Johnny cakes or some bakes, as some other islands say,
Well, in Barbados we call them baked Johnny cakes. So
okay.
Oh, all right. So you're the director of this Montreal Steppers. So tell us why you start this thing going and how long it's been going on.
Absolutely. No, thank you for that. So for us with Montreal Steppers, we started in 2019. And for me, I was stepping when I was in university in the United States. I went to school in New York, but way upstate New York, in a small school called Plattsburgh. They had a step team that was connected with the gospel choir there. So I was in the choir and I joined the team, but it was my first experience with stepping. I had seen stepping on television shows, different big films, Stomp the Yard, all that stuff. But this was my first experience learning how to step. We'll fast forward after I studied my undergrad, my master's. I met my wife, and she's from Montreal. And then we moved to Montreal. And what I wanted to continue doing was keep stepping alive and keep using step because I enjoyed it so thoroughly. So with a group of friends, we had an opportunity to kind of work on producing some work. I was running some workshops in schools. I was using STEP to do some educational work around Black history, around its importance of moving your body and the history of the art form. So in 2019, with a group of us, we decided, hey, should we create something? Should we create an organization? So we moved ahead and we created Montreal Steppers. And first it was just a sole proprietorship that was like tied to me. And then now we're a nonprofit organization in Montreal, but we are focusing on using the art form of step to share Black history, use our bodies to make music, encourage others to use their bodies to create sounds, rhythms, and beats, and to just tell our stories. So, I mean, I must say in those years, it's been quite an experience and quite a ride, but we've been able to do some really incredible work in the province of Quebec, and now we're working towards moving to other provinces.
Yes. So is there any age limit to do this stepping?
So we work with, when we do workshops in the schools, we're focusing on students who are grade 4 and up, because we have a dialogue component of the workshop where we talk about Black history, how stepping started, the importance of the Black art form. But for us in the Montreal Steppers team, we all work with people who are over 18. So we're working with folks who are more adults. The majority of the team, we're in our 30s. So we have some
That's what I was
20s
saying.
and 30s. Yeah. So, but we work with a lot of students, and we prefer students who are grade 4 and older, just so that they can engage in the dialogue and the conversation around the history, and they can ask questions that we feel might be really pertinent to what we want them to learn.
Okay. All right. So when you are you part of the dialogue and when you create the stuff and everything, or like
Hmm.
what's your role?
Yeah, so for me, in my role, I've created and written the dialogue, I've facilitated workshops. As a director, I also choreograph, we work on the productions. But in terms of the workshops themselves, we break it down into examining what stepping is, where it started, who started it, when it started, why it started, and then we also expand on a little bit of the how. So we look at those W questions around the sharing of the historical stories, but we also dive deep into talking about how stepping started in the United States, but also how it started in Canada. So that's really exciting for us to share how that history started. Because I work with students whose parents say, "Oh, I was stepping back in the 90s, and I can't believe you're now teaching my kids to step." So that's a good full circle opportunity.
So do you get a lot of rebuttal? Oh, you guys don't really step. You guys are from Canada, please.
No, not even like, I think the history of stepping in the United States, it's its own, and there's such significant value in exploring the stepping history in Canada, because in the United States, there's the historically Black colleges and universities, the fraternities, the
Uh-huh.
sororities. That culture, that richness is there. But even from the Canadian context, stepping started at Vanier College in Montreal. And that
Oh
started
yeah.
in 1891. And it was a group of women who, after watching an episode of A Different World, which was a spin off of The Cosby Show, saw an episode that focused on stepping, came together and said, "Yo, we got to do something. We got to create this thing." And that's how it started moving and growing and expanding in Montreal. And to our knowledge, based on the history, that was where it really started first in Canada.
Okay. Well, I guess I must have missed that whole part of it because I was in Dawson.
Well, there was a competition, you know. There was the Vanier Stompers and Dawson, and then they were competing in Ontario. So it was big competition. I wasn't there for that. I wasn't even around, in that time, old enough to be stepping. But this is the history that we've studied and we've researched, and we have someone on the team who was the person that started stepping back in Vanier. So we're really privileged that she's still working with us and collaborating with us.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna see a little bit of this stepping thing here now. So we're gonna tell people so if people don't know what it is.
absolutely.
All right. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let me just come out. Let me just come out of this for a minute and I'm gonna get it another way. Well, somehow, just 1 second. I'm gonna have to, but you could just tell us a little bit. Do you have like maybe a older people that want to do some stuff or not really?
Yeah, so for sure. I mean, one of the things we're working on this year as we move into the new academic season
Okay.
is there have been a request for folks who of any age that want to learn a little bit about stepping. So we've looked at opening the opportunity for folks that are older, let's say 40s, 50s. I mean, older than the cohort that we have.
Mature. We use
More
the
mature, not calling them old folks. So people in their 50s, 60s, if they want to be able to explore and learn a little bit about stepping, that will open opportunities for them to learn. Of course, the steps will be adapted to people's abilities, but that's absolutely an opportunity for folks to be able to learn a little bit about stepping if they're more mature, as you're saying. I like that. More mature. Yeah.
Well, we're seeing now. Is that the Toronto one?
Yeah, you got a good mix of all of it. So that's our practicing behind the scenes for production, which has stepping, singing, and storytelling as we look at the history of how Black folks got to Canada. So that's what we focus on, that production. Yeah.
So you guys,
Thank you
so when
for
you're
doing
performing, you're wearing you're suited up in those t-shirts and stuff like that, or?
Well, without giving away too much, we have different outfits that we're wearing for different pieces. So this is when we are doing our rehearsal, and then we do have one piece where we have our Montreal Steppers shirt that we do, but there are some other outfits that we're wearing as we are doing different performances and step routines in the production.
Well, you need to send people over here in Toronto a t-shirt.
Listen, they've already told me when we come to Toronto, you best have those t-shirts outside the studio, ready for sale, because everybody's been asking for the Montreal Steppers shirts. So we'll definitely have some of those available for people to get.
Okay. Yeah, because people wouldn't mind wearing the t-shirts and stuff like that. That'd be a good one to wear. So when are you guys going to have this event in Toronto that's coming up?
Perfect. So the Route to Canada, that's the name of the production that we are touring across Canada. And the Route to Canada explores Black history in Canada. A big question that we've gotten, I'm sure you've got this in your own personal history. How did Black people get to Canada? So we are examining those elements through stepping, through storytelling, and through song. We hit Toronto September 30th. We're at the University of Toronto, the UFT campus, but we're at the Hart House Theatre. So if you go to MontrealSteppers.com, everything is lined up. Before we hit Toronto, we're in Ottawa. We're in Ottawa September 9th. And we have two productions at 4 p.m. and at 8 p.m. But Toronto is one show, 8 p.m.
Why only one show?
Bigger stage, bigger space, about 500 people there. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get the support to fill those 500 seats when we hit Toronto. So you're like, why one show? Because people are still like, who are you? Montreal Steppers? What are y'all doing? So we're trying to at least tentatively work our way through. We did our production in Halifax, Nova Scotia back in February of this year. We were out in Halifax for 2 productions. Then we came back to Montreal in June this summer, and we're heading to Ottawa, and then Toronto September 30th, and then we're heading to Edmonton in February of 2024. So we're taking the route to Canada, across Canada. And then if folks say, well, why didn't you come to this location? Then we'll tell them, help us get there.
Sure. Well, I guess you'll be going out to BC if people know about that too.
That's it.
Victoria and Saskatchewan and
rolling all out. So
but that's really good, for the history and for people of of color and everything else to know, because a lot of people in the States forget that we are part of Black history, Canadian, and because a lot of people came here, And just from me interviewing a few people that came from Welland, up in up at Owen Sound. These are big things, big places where people don't know about. And, Amherstburg, all these places were places where all the Americans came through. So and now you guys at Montreal Steppers are bringing these things all over the place, and now people are like, the Montreal Steppers. I didn't even know who was it. We actually have something like that. So for the people that are in the Caribbean are probably even saying like me, wow, So we like to, you got to come back and tell us, how everything and how people received you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I
And
mean,
how much are the tickets or something? Or how much is to go?
Yeah, so in terms of our tickets, we have kind of similar pricing for Ottawa and Toronto. So Toronto, we have the tickets for 45 and 35. 45 is adult, 35 is senior and student tickets. There'll also be
you're gonna say if you're sitting in the front, if you're sitting to the back, it's 30.
No. We just want people to be able to just come. We want to make sure that the tickets are generally affordable because we don't want it to be not accessible for people. We want people to be able to come. If there are people that want to do group tickets, we're offering group discounts. If you're purchasing 5 or more tickets, we're offering 15% discount on the tickets so that people could come if you're trying to come as a group. So that's what we're trying to work with. It's worked well for us in Halifax, where we were able to offer those opportunities for people. So that's what we're doing in terms of the ticket sales. And in terms of that, most of what we go through is grant writing through the Canadian Council of the Arts. So we get grants to get the team there, mobilize 20 plus people coming across. It could be costly as we're working through, but we want to make sure that every time as a nonprofit, we're using the funds to go back into the community and back into the organization to continue doing more work. And as you said, not only are people asking who is Montreal Steppers, they're saying, I didn't even know this history in Canada. I was not even aware of that. So when we went out to Halifax, Africville, that Black history, that Black communities out there, many people were like, we didn't know this. So thank you for sharing light on that. And it's not just us trying to be like, hey, we're doing all this teaching. We also are learning. I grew up in St. Kitts. I didn't know much about Canada. I come here, I'm 29, 30, and I'm trying to also find out more about Black history and Blackness and Black culture and Black art forms in Canada and how impactful those our ancestors and people were and have been and continue to be.
Wow. Well, this, it's quite interesting. I can't wait to find out and, see it in Toronto. I'm going to try to encourage a lot of people to go. And I hope UFT is helping you, the University of Toronto.
They're doing an incredible job. They've actually, in addition to our tours, we also offer an introduction to stepping workshop. So they've offered it to University of Toronto students. And then if it doesn't get filled, they'll open it up to the general public. But they have been incredibly amazing with the promotion, the advertising on their Instagram pages, on their social medias. They have pushed that. They've also had other organizations and groups within UFT that are like, we want to promote this event. So you're in Toronto, we will connect because you will be at the show. We will make sure that you are there. I
gotta come and see this and see what's going on.
Well, let's connect. We'll make sure we take care of you. So you let us know and we'll make sure that you are settled. And if you have other folks that you need to have us share this information with, you let us know.
They're gonna see it. They're gonna see all the information.
Yeah. So you let us work that way.
All right. So are there any shout outs that you want to give, Kayin?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, look, I'm going to shout out the people that are hosting us. I mean, we're coming to Toronto. So big shout out to the Hart House Theatre, UFT, and I'm shouting out the other folks in Ontario too. So shout out to the folks in Ottawa. The Gladstone Theatre is hosting us for the 2 shows in Ottawa, September 9th. So big shout out to those teams who have been so receptive, who has just given us everything we needed, photos, videos, walkthrough of the spaces, all that stuff. Big shout out to you for reaching out to us and for promoting what we're doing and wishing you all the best and success in all that you're doing to promote all the things that you believe matter and the things we should talk about. So this has mobilized our communities. We're proud of what we've been able to do. So big shout out to you as well, and big shout out to my team. Can't do it without the Montreal Steppers. Those are my people. They work hard. Listen, I'm in St. Kitts. They're home practicing.
Well, you can practice on the beach.
Ain't gonna make the same sounds. You're not gonna make the same sounds.
Practice on the sand. That's all right. Or in the water.
That's it. That's it.
Well, stepping matters, people. This is real life matters, and stepping matters and it's part of our history, and it's a big matter. And it's something that we have to take note of, and we have to support. Just like you guys go out and see basketball games and hockey, baseball, any of the other stuff, tennis. This is a big event also. So I encourage everybody to do that. So can you tell everybody where they can follow you guys on your social medias?
Absolutely. Easy peasy. So Montreal Steppers, boom, on everything. MontrealSteppers.com, that's the website. Montreal Steppers Facebook, Instagram, Montreal Steppers, YouTube, Montreal Steppers, TikTok, Montreal Steppers. So that's the branding. You will see it. You will see the hands coming together. You know it's us. So that's it. That's the step.
I guess because you're in St. Kitts, are you walking around with that shirt? People like, what's that about?
Listen. My mom is like, she keep asking me. She's like, what is the dance thing you're doing? What is the dance group you're part of? So we're still trying to make sure. But when I came to St. Kitts, I had a friend at the airport that said, are you and your team here? And I was like, no, it's just me. And she was like, I'm waiting for the team. I'm waiting for the team to come here. So we're definitely doing some promo. I'll be out tomorrow. I'll take some photos around, and I'm going to make sure we publicize and push on our socials as well.
And you could tag my page too. So, so people can know.
Excellent.
So
thank you so much for that.
That a lot of people be, I don't tag my for this, that. That's what the thing is about. You tag my pages, it's not a problem. Okay?
Respect.
Anyway, we're going to see you come back here, Kayin. And we're after, you finish maybe the show in Montreal, or maybe see what's going on, and give us some clips from that, and we'll put it on the show.
Absolutely. I'm going to send you a new video with some closer previews of the show. So you could see it in action, and then we'll be able to send that, and we're going to be chatting after you see the show, so we can have
all right
about it. Yeah.
All right. So I do want to thank you, Kayin. Montreal Steppers, who's stepping into action, and stepping matters. So you guys gotta make that a matter. So anyway,
blessings. Blessings, appreciation, love, all the best. Thank you so much.
Oh,
and you
everybody,
take care of yourself.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Bye bye. Peace and love.